Rashford saga. Rashford to United. Rashford has suffered quite a lot of denting in his emotional position while at United, being benched by the coaches, and then he got a chance at Barcelona. We saw him build a story from Barca, and then suddenly it doesn't look like Barca wants him anymore. So he's reportedly set to leave Barca as it is right now, with very strong links suggesting him to return to United. He had an inconsistent spell. Sometimes he performed well. Other times you actually don't see him in big matches. He disappeared, and you could see that happen with Atletico Madrid and Barca losing out of Champions League because of Rafinha being out, and Rashford couldn't step up to the shoes of Rafinha to take Barca to glory. And as it is right now, Rashford is being taunted or being returned to United because Barca is not willing to pay off his 30 million buyout clause. So with the return of Rashford to United, will it likely help his career, considering where he's coming from?
I think it would be a very wrong move for him to return back to Manchester United because in the last 2-3 seasons he spent there before started going on loan. It has been a very toxic one for him there. So going back there will not help him, because if he goes back there now and he performs in one game, fans they hail him. Then the next game he underperforms, and everything start coming back. And Manchester United at the moment, they are doing good, going up the ladder, but once they go, they fail to win a game, they started looking for scapegoat, and I think one of the scapegoat will definitely be Marcus Rashford. So him going back to Man United will definitely be a career-ending one for him. And at the same time, I think Barcelona, will be. I think Barcelona should be doing everything to keep him. I think he has been a worthy servant at Barcelona.
No, there's a lot of controversy around that, and that's actually my second question. Why do you think Barca will be willing to let him go? And Barca is looking at getting Munoz from another club, or bringing back one of the Athletic players who were sent off on loan before.
Well, you look at Marcus Rashford and those players you talked about. They are very different kind of player. Marcus Rashford is an experienced player. I think he's way older than those other
Victor
guys.
Munez.
Victor Munez, yeah. So Barcelona, I don't know why. I still want to believe that come ending of the season or start next season, Marcus Rashford will still be at Barcelona.
Wow.
But if they decide to let him go, I think the reason why we are having this conversation is because of the probably the financial issue with regarding Barcelona. We all know once the transfer window open, you hear things like they need to set this to be able to bring in players, register this player or let this player go. So I think that is the issue. I think Barcelona, first of all, they just need to find a way to settle their book free of any debt to hamper registering players. So they should just work on that, and if they can work on that, I don't see any reason why they will not be able to acquire players they need. 30 million is not for Marcus Rashford.
Right, so Paulo believes that Rashford should still be in Barca by next season, and you think Rashford has performed well in Barca the last season? You think so?
This season, rather.
Affirmative.
I think if I want to rate him, I think it's at least over 10. I would give him at least 75, 80. So I think.
Why would you give him 75, 80? Barca needed him to step up at a point in time and fill the shoes of Rafinha.
Well, but even Rafinha is not. I can't rate Rafinha 100%.
Yes, but Rafinha will be around 75. Rashford can be more than 6%, 55 or 60.
Well, he came in just to be the second player behind what's his name, Rafinha.
And Rafinha got injured quite a number of times. No, not one match.
We've seen games that Rashford have actually, step up. I could remember in the Champions League, the first leg against Newcastle United, we had St. James Park, and Coach Rashford, he actually stepped up, and he did a very fantastic job there. So you can't just say because of the Atletico game. No, the other games he has actually played and performed well, and he's very happy to come in from the bench. He's not complaining about starting, so I think it's a player they can keep, and still get a quality player, then when you need his experience, you bring in on
as a backup player.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on straight to Bayern Munich 35th Bundesliga title. Hurricanes trophy moment. We see Hurricane here benefiting from another year of trophies. Of course, last season he got trophies. He won the Bundesliga, and I think he got another trophy, the DFB, to go along with it. And this season he's looking like he's going to get more than just one trophy. As we see, Bayern Munich have done it again. They've claimed their 35th Bundesliga title after a very strong win over Stuttgart, with about 3 or 4 games still in hand. But the bigger story here is Hurricane here. For years, Hurricane has carried the narrative of being one of the best players without evidence. We saw him play so well, score so many goals at Tottenham Hotspur, and doing so well, lifting the team, but nothing to show for it for several seasons until he got to Bayern Munich. Now the story is officially over. You could say that his jinx and his bewitchment is over. Patience has finally paid off for that young man. Now does winning back-to-back titles with Bayern Munich refine Hurricane's legacy in world football?
Since his days at Tottenham Hotspur, he get those goals, and he keeps scoring. But the problem is that he was playing for probably the wrong club, which is Tottenham Hotspur. We all know Tottenham Hotspur. They are not that too ambitious. I think they are okay with making money, moving to new stadiums and win some games, and the fans cheer. But Harry Kane, the kind of player that scored a lot of goals. I think in the league, in the English Premier League, is among the top 5 goal scorer, highest goal scorers in the Premier League. And for a player like that not to win the league, it's a very, very disappointing one. Not just that, he hasn't won any trophy before he moved to Bayern Munich, and now he has done it back to back. The first season they didn't actually win. Then people were saying, "Oh, is Harry Kane cost?"
Hurricanes, yeah. That was the first time in several years that they will lose to Leverkusen.
Yeah, and Bayer Leverkusen won the league of it. A lot of where people were saying, "Oh, I think Harry Kane now is the issue."
Is the cause.
But unfortunately, the following season, Bayern Munich will go ahead and win, and this season they won it. So I think.
And they're still up for the DFB. They are playing the semi-finals right now, and they're leading.
Yeah, and like you said, they can also go ahead and win. But it's still a very, very it's very possible. At the same time, they can still end up with only what they've got already, which is the league title. But the good thing is that they've done it, with I think about 2 or 3 games left. So it's give them the advantage going forward in the other remaining competitions.
Now, should Hurricane and Bayern Munich go on to win the Champions League and win the Bundesliga and also do the DFB Cup, would you now rate Hurricane at the highest level of football in the world?
I think even without winning the Champions League, is one of the top. You look at in this current
dispensation.
I think you can't mention probably 5 players and not mention Hurricane. So, for Hurricane, I think he'll be very happy if you can lay his hand on that
Champions League. Yeah.
And I believe now Bayern Munich will definitely be reserving him for every of the remaining Champions League games, because that's the major or most important competition right now for him. So, if he goes ahead and win it, I think he can also be in the conversation for the Ballon d'Or. So, right now he's even in the conversation. So, I think him going ahead to win it will definitely catapult him or push him forward, because
on the power ranking.
So it's going to be
perhaps stand on the podium. Even if he doesn't win, he can be top 11 to be on the podium.
I think there's no how in Europe now you bring out top probably let's say top 11, you find Hurricane. They're based on current form right now. So it's going to be a very big boost for him if he can go ahead and win the Champions League and the DFB also.
Right, so we move on straight to Cristiano Ronaldo's 969th goal and his son's Cristiano Jr.'s rise. The legacy continues right here. At this point, it's no longer surprising, but it is still remarkable that Cristiano Ronaldo has scored his 969th career goal for Al Nassr, continuing his march towards a historic 1,000 goal milestone. And just when you think the story cannot get bigger, reports suggest that his son, Cristiano Ronaldo Jr., could be promoted to the senior team as well. Imagine that moment when father and son play on the pitch together. That is not just football, that is history, and that's a serious legacy. Ladies and gentlemen, can Cristiano Ronaldo's realistic 1,000 career goal, can it happen? And is it time finally for him to cash out or to catch in on the 1,000 mile?
Well, I think it's very realistic. You look at it, he has scored about, you said 900, is it
969?
So he has about, I think 31
Yes.
left to go. And right now, the Saudi Pro League, I think they still have about, I'm not sure, but more, maybe like
About
4,
10,
5.
yeah,
I don't think
not
it's
up to 10 games.
maybe less than 6 games. The last time I checked, I think it's less than 6 games. And who says he cannot even get up to 10 goals in the remaining 6 games? And you have the World Cup coming also. There are friendlies also coming up also. So, and there's still next season. And I think Cristiano Ronaldo, being the kind of person he is, will definitely want to challenge himself to get to that number and even surpass it. And he has on continuing beyond 41 years. So in no time, I think Cristiano Ronaldo will definitely match that feat, probably before the ending of this year itself.
Right, so if Cristiano can score 31 more goals this calendar year, then that would be wow for him, as it is. So, will promoting the junior to the senior squad be a bold move, or will put pressure on him?
Well, I think it's going to be a very it's a bold move, but at the same time, I think the pressure will be too high because you look at him, he's still very young. Very young. So
I think it's about 13, 14.
I think between 14, 15. So he's still very young. Though we've seen, I think, and at the same time, Cristiano Ronaldo himself would have loved to play with his son on the same pitch.
He actually said that's one of his goals, as his visions. That's one of his. Should I put it this way? That's one of his desires.
His dream. So we've seen players play with their son. One of them recently was what's his name now? Ashley Young. He played against his son. Not the same team, but against his son. So I think Cristiano Ronaldo also he would have loved something like that. But at the same time, I think the pressure on the Cristiano Ronaldo Jr. will be too much. So I think they should just exercise patience and let the boy grow and become.
But I think Cristiano Ronaldo will actually want it to happen. He will push the move, and with the level of status he enjoys in the Saudi league, they will do anything to help Ronaldo.
It's not about just wanting it to move. It's about after that game, the continuity. We've seen a lot of legends. Their sons. That played also. Most of them after probably the first few months where they hype them. Oh, this is the son of former. After then you hardly hear from them again. So it's about the long time process, not just the short time. Yes, playing with his son, the hype will be there for probably 1, 2, 3 more. Then if the boy fails to continue to perform at the higher level, a lot of people would expect him. Then definitely maybe after 1 or 2 years you won't hear anything from him again. We've seen that with some of these ex-players, their son. There are only few that you see some of these ex-players apart from probably Kasper Schmeichel, the father Peter Schmeichel. We saw the son also going on to
win the
Premier League. There are still some like Clivert, the sons they're still playing.
Clivert and then the young Clivert playing in Southampton, I suppose.
And Diego Simone also, I think his son is also playing
with Atletico Madrid.
So it's about the long time process, not just the short time whereby because it's Cristiano Ronaldo's son, he plays with the father, then after then nothing again. So I think they just have to be very patient and allow the boy to actually grow into the football, not just bringing the football to him, but rather allow him to grow into it. And we saw
and be stable.
And be stable, yeah.
To agree with your point, I think that's actually what they should do. But we know how it works in football, and when it comes to superstars and hype, and we also know what happens to the clubs and the various promotion agents. All these agents, they want the hype. Cristiano Junior with Cristiano himself on the field, and people start buying jerseys of Cristiano, and so it's about the promotion, it's about the media hype, it's about the all the noise, the paparazzis that come with it, and I think they will do it, if nothing else, for an assert to be the beneficiary or the club to execute that particular feat, which will be very historic if you ask me. But it might not be good enough for the kid, but I think it will be good enough for media, and it will be lovely for Cristiano himself to see that happen very soon, because you never can tell. Cristiano may develop one injury now, and he may not be able to continue. So I think, by and large, yes, the boy should be allowed to grow, but I think it will be something, a spectacle to see.
Yeah, definitely.
Rashford saga, Rashford to United. Rashford has suffered quite a lot of denting in his emotional position while at United, being benched by the coaches, and then he got a chance at Barcelona. We saw him build a story from Barca, and then suddenly it doesn't look like Barca wants him anymore. So he's reportedly set to leave Barca as it is right now, with very strong links suggesting him to return to United. He had an inconsistent spell. Sometimes he performed well. Other times you actually don't see him in big matches. He disappeared, and you could see that happen with Atletico Madrid and Barca losing out of Champions League because of Rafinha being out, and Rashford couldn't step up to the shoes of Rafinha to take Barca to glory. And as it is right now, Rashford is being taunted or being returned to United because Barca is not willing to pay off his 30 million buyout clause. So with the return of Rashford to United, will it likely help his career, considering where he's coming from?
I think it would be a very wrong move for him to return back to Manchester United because in the last 2-3 seasons he spent there before started going on loan. It has been a very toxic one for him there. So going back there will not help him, because if he goes back there now and he performs in one game, fans they hail him. Then the next game he underperforms, and everything start coming back. And Manchester United at the moment, they are doing good, going up the ladder, but once they go, they fail to win a game, they started looking for scapegoat, and I think one of the scapegoat will definitely be Marcus Rashford. So him going back to Man United will definitely be a career-ending one for him. And at the same time, I think Barcelona, will be. I think Barcelona should be doing everything to keep him. I think he has been a worthy servant at Barcelona.
No, there's a lot of controversy around that, and that's actually my second question. Why do you think Barca will be willing to let him go? And Barca is looking at getting Munoz from another club, or bringing back one of the Athletic players who were sent off on loan before.
Well, you look at Marcus Rashford and those players you talked about, they are very different kind of player. Marcus Rashford is an experienced player. I think he's way older than those other
Victor
guys.
Munez.
Victor Munez, yeah. So Barcelona, I don't know why. I still want to believe that come ending of the season or start next season, Marcus Rashford will still be at Barcelona.
Wow.
But if they decide to let him go, I think the reason why we are having this conversation is because of the probably the financial issue with regarding Barcelona. We all know once the transfer window open, you hear things like they need to set this to be able to bring in players, register this player or let this player go. So I think that is the issue. I think Barcelona, first of all, they just need to find a way to to settle their book free of any debt to hamper registering, players. So they should just work on that, and if they can work on that, I don't see any reason why they will not be able to, acquire, players in it. If 30 million is not for Marco.
Right, so Paulo believes that Rashford should still be in Barca by next season, and you think Rashford has performed well in Barca the last season? You think so?
This season, rather.
Affirmative.
I think if I want to rate him, I think it's at least over 10. I would give him at least 75, 80. So I think.
Why would you give him 75, 80? Barca needed him to step up at a point in time and fill the shoes of Rafinha.
Well, but even Rafinha is not. I can't rate Rafinha 100%.
Yes, but Rafinha will be around 75. Rashford can be more than 6%, 55 or 60.
Well, he came in just to be the second player behind what's his name, Rafinha.
And Rafinha got injured quite a number of times. No, not one match.
We've seen games that Rashford have actually, step up. I could remember in the Champions League, the first leg against Newcastle United, away at St. James Park, and Coach Rashford, he actually stepped up, and he did a very fantastic job there. So you can't just say because of the Atletico game. No, the other games he has actually played and performed well, and he's very happy to come in from the bench. He's not complaining about starting. So I think it's a player they can keep, and still get a quality player, then when you need his experience, you bring him on
as a backup player.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on straight to Bayern Munich 35th Bundesliga title. Hurricanes trophy moment. We see Hurricane here benefiting from another year of trophies. Of course, last season he got trophies. He won the Bundesliga, and I think he got another trophy, the DFB, to go along with it. And this season he's looking like he's going to get more than just one trophy. As we see, Bayern Munich have done it again. They've claimed their 35th Bundesliga title after a very strong win over Stuttgart, with about 3 or 4 games still in hand. But the bigger story here is Hurricane here. For years, Hurricane has carried the narrative of being one of the best players without evidence. We saw him play so well, score so many goals at Tottenham Hotspur, and doing so well, lifting the team, but nothing to show for it for several seasons until he got to Bayern Munich. Now the story is officially over. You could say that his jinx and his bewitchment is over. Patience has finally paid off for that young man. Now does winning back-to-back titles with Bayern Munich refine Hurricane's legacy in world football?
Since his days at Tottenham Hotspur, he get those goals, and he keeps scoring. But the problem is that he was playing for probably the wrong club, which is Tottenham Hotspur. We all know Tottenham Hotspur. They are not that too ambitious. I think they are okay with making money, moving to new stadiums and win some games, and the fans cheer. But Harry Kane, the kind of player that scored a lot of goals. I think in the league, in the English Premier League, is among the top 5 highest goal scorers in the Premier League. And for a player like that not to win the league, it's a very, very disappointing one. Not just that, he hasn't won any trophy before he moved to Bayern Munich, and now he has done it back to back. The first season they didn't actually win. Then people were saying, "Oh, is Harry Kane cost?"
Hurricanes, yeah. That was the first time in several years that they will lose to Leverkusen.
Yeah, and Bayer Leverkusen won the league of it. A lot of where people were saying, "Oh, I think Harry Kane now is the issue."
Is the cause.
But unfortunately, following season, Bayern Munich will go ahead and win, and this season they won it. So I think.
And they're still up for the DFB. They are playing the semi-finals right now, and they're leading.
Yeah, and like you said, they can also go ahead and win. But it's still a very, very it's very possible. At the same time, they can still end up with only what they've got already, which is the league title. But the good thing is that they've done it, with I think about 2 or 3 games left. So it's give them the advantage going forward in the other remaining competitions.
Now, should Hurricane and Bayern Munich go on to win the Champions League and win the Bundesliga and also do the DFB Cup, would you now rate Hurricane at the highest level of football in the world?
I think even without winning the Champions League, is one of the top. You look at in this current
Dispensation.
I think you can't mention probably 5 players and not mention Harry Kane. So, but for Harry Kane, I think he'll be very happy if you can lay his hand on that
Champions League, yeah.
And I believe now Bayern Munich will definitely be reserving him for every of the remaining Champions League games, because that's the major or most important competition right now for him. So if he goes ahead and win it, I think he can also be in the conversation for the Ballon d'Or. So right now he's even in the conversation. So I think him going ahead to win it will definitely catapult him or push him forward. Because,
on the power ranking.
In the power ranking. So it's going to be
perhaps stand on the podium. Even if he doesn't win, he can be top 11 to be on the podium.
I think there's no how in Europe now you bring out top probably let's say top 11 you find Harry Kane. They're based on current form right now. So it's going to be a very big boost for him if he can go ahead and win the Champions League and the DFB also.
Right, so we move on straight to Cristiano Ronaldo's 969th goal and his son's Cristiano Jr.'s rise. The legacy continues right here. This podcast on Premier Sports Fan Center, where football stories are not just reported, they're broken down into clarity and insight. My name is Yinka Adegwu. Your friends call me the Doc around here. Today's episode captures the intensity of modern football and transfers, battles between European giants, international controversies involving African pride, and global superstars delivering on the biggest stages. From the boardroom tensions to on-pitch brilliance. And this is football and its dramatic absoluteness. Now to analyze and discuss some of these points with me, I have a wonderful analyst in the studio, Paul Lowski. You're welcome, Paul.
Yeah, good evening, viewers. Good evening, the Doc. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming. We appreciate you being here all the time.
Yeah.
And today we're getting straight into it right now, and we're taking the first segment. And if you're watching this from out there, this is Premier Sports Fan Center, and we would like you to subscribe, share, like our programs as we transmit to you. Just click on the bell button, like us, and share with your friends, share with your family, share with people in your workplace, so that we can get to reach more people together and we can enjoy these discussions as we go. So tonight we're looking at the first segment here, and the first topic we're taking will be on Michael Olise's transfer tug of war. Power play in Europe. The transfer market is already heating up right there in Europe. Up and at the center of it is our own Michael Olise of Bayern Munich. Of course, he's a French-Nigerian player. Bayern Munich must have sent a strong message by dismissing interest from Liverpool, making it clear that Olise is not available for sale, despite reports of a massive 200 million euro offer from Liverpool, or valuation right there. This is more than just a transfer rumor. It is a statement of intent, and Bayern are protecting their asset, while Liverpool are seriously determined to build up their attacking strength and force in the coming season. Also, this raises a very big question about power in modern football and who really controls the market. So, is Bayern right to put a hold on Olise? Do they have the is it justified? And financially for them, if they could get a 200 million sale for Olise, wouldn't it add to their portfolio?
Well, I don't think there's any club that will pay 200 million for Michael Olise at the moment right now. They can still get at least 100 million.
Or do we say 150? Florian Wirtz was sold for how much? 130?
That was in euros, depending on the figure.
Yeah, we're looking
on the
at
currency now. Well, even at 150,000, I don't think they, and 150 million euros, I don't think they will get any club that is willing to pay that. A lot of people who have been tipping him, to go to Liverpool to replace Mohamed Salah, But you look at it at this moment. I don't think Liverpool will be able to spend that amount because we saw how they spent lavishly during the last summer transfer window. But right now they have a problem because Mohamed Salah is going and they will need to find a replacement. But Michael Olise will be a very good fit if he goes to Liverpool. He's been in the league. He knows the league. He's not just an he has been part and parcel of Crystal Palace when he was there and also the league. So in going to Liverpool will be a very good fit. But the issue is that I don't think Liverpool will be able to cover that amount that Bayern Munich should be willing to let him go for. And at the same time, regarding the question, I don't think Bayern Munich will even let him go. They recently signed him because you look at Bayern Munich now. They brought him to replace the likes because they've not been able to replace Arjen Robben, since he left. Now you have someone that is coming closer to him, and you just want him to go so easily. Then that means you have to start afresh again.
If the money is right, what do you think?
I can't remember seeing. I can't remember the Bayern Munich selling a player, for a huge, humongous amount of exceeding maybe 60 million, pounds. I don't think Bayern Munich are in any financial difficulties right now. Although if the money is outrageous, if Liverpool or any club or even Real Madrid has been, linked to him, if they can, if they are ready to pay up to 200, I think Bayern Munich will let him go. But
I think anybody will let him go for 200 million euro.
Definitely, but I don't think Bayern Munich will want to, let him go at the moment right now.
Okay, so the other question is, will Olise be a good fit? Will he be the perfect fit to replace Salah in that place because he's been touted for that position? In your own understanding of football and your opinion of the whole situation, do you think he will fit in there?
Definitely, he's going to fit in. The only issue is that you look at his numbers at Bayern Munich right now. It's very high. I don't think in the league he will get up to that amount, but it's still going to, produce, results. I mean, those numbers, but not up to the the same amount in the Bundesliga, because the Premier League is quite different. It's very hard, and we saw him with Crystal Palace. Though some people will say the reason why he's going to produce that is because he was playing for a struggling, or low team like Crystal Palace. But despite that, you look at teams, players are playing for the big teams right now, the top 6 right now. How many of their star players are producing the same numbers is producing in the Bundesliga now for their respective club in England? There are very few. So I think if it comes to Liverpool, it's going to get, it's going to be a very good fit. The only issue is that it might not be producing that same number, but
at least consistently, and we expect him to push his weight around.
Yeah,
right. Knowing fully well that Salah actually left a big shoe that any player will have to enter. You actually think he can fit into the Salah's shoes?
Definitely.
Wonderful. And so from that we move straight to the Nigerian and African saga, and now we're looking at Nigerian Iran friendly. And the AFCON controversy is still going on. So much pride, so much politics, and preparation also from this part of the world. And this is Premier Sports Fan Center once again. And you are on Talk Sport, looking at reviews of events happening around the world of football. So the Super Eagles are set actually to, we're looking at future events, and the Super Eagles have just played today. They just played Iran in a friendly organized, I think, by FIFA or CAF, as the case.
It's a FIFA window.
It's a FIFA organized competition. Iran, Islamic Republic of Iran versus the Federal Republic of Nigeria just had a friendly today with Super Eagles edging Iran out by 2-1. And we actually saw so much dynamics on the field, and that happened in Turkey today. And however big the stage may be, we're also looking at Senegal having this big controversy going on, the drama with AFCON and CAF. and the CAS, the Court of Arbitration, saying that everything should stay on status quo. We heard that already from CAS, that pending the decision of the Court of Arbitration for sports, everything should remain status quo. In other words, Senegal is not supposed to return the trophy or any medal until the outcome of the judgment, as the case may be. So we're looking at here, the situation is quite, messy, a little bit messy when you're looking at Senegal's challenges and what they're facing with Morocco as well as CAF. But Nigeria just edged out, defeated Iran today. And what are we looking at here? How crucial was that friendly between Nigeria and Iran? How does it affect Nigerian status on the FIFA ranking?
Well, it's a massive 3 point for Nigeria. I don't know. Some would say how massive, like you said, how massive with that friendly. But
it's a four-nation tournament.
Four-nation tournament. It's a win, and in FIFA, during the FIFA window, a win is a win. They record it, but it depends on the opposition now. So you can. There's difference between when you defeat Iran and you defeat teams, countries like Spain. So you don't get the same, point. And looking at the moment, I was in the studio the last time we were on set here, during one of our TalkSport show. I was talking about this game and say I don't think it's necessary for us now to play Iran, because I don't even believe up to before the game was played, I didn't believe that the game will go on, because I look, Iran, you look at what's going on in their country. I don't think the players will be in the right frame of mind to play the game, but they eventually played. They didn't lose scandalously. They lost by 2-1, and
they played beautifully.
They still played beautifully.
Attack for attack.
So for Nigeria, I think it's going to help Nigeria at least move one or two steps forward in the FIFA ranking. And for Iran, I think they're also preparing for the World Cup. So that's more or less like it's actually an exhibition, match for both countries. But for Nigeria, it's going to say a lot. We are not going to the World Cup, and just look for friendlies to give to the Nigerian fans to chill out with. And now we've defeated Iran by 2-1, so it's going to help our ranking at the FIFA ranking. But I won't be surprised if we didn't move a spot upward. Because we've seen some countries, they still, despite winning, they still remain where they are. So for Nigeria, it's a good one.
I'm trying to figure out what other nations are in the competition apart from Iran. Nigeria.
I think I've not been following the FIFA series. Is it FIFA series now?
Yeah, there's a 4-nation
tournament. I think there's Jordan.
Okay, Jordan.
There's Jordan,
Iran,
and
I'm
trying to
Turkey
remember.
is also part of the formation, if I'm correct.
We just have to confirm.
We'll get that back to you, viewers out there. But yes, it is necessary that Nigeria keeps playing friendlies and Nigeria keeps getting the points. And we're also looking at Senegal. Senegal is also looking at parading the trophy. We heard rumors that they want to take it to Paris to parade the trophy and possibly show the whole world that this is actually our trophy, and no CAF should take it from us. Is this necessary at all?
Well, I don't think it's necessary. You can show the whole world, by parading it in your own country. It's even more secured, in your own country than going to another country. Now you want to even show the whole world. You are picking a European country. Why don't you look for another African country and parade it there? Look, if Senegal wants to rub, is it salt now to the injury of Morocco? What you do, if you want to pick a country, you look at, Morocco's rival. You talk about, I think that should be Tunisia.
Okay.
Tunisia will be very, very happy to host Senegal parading that trophy because we know the history between Tunisia and Morocco. So, but for me, on the question, I don't think it's necessary, and I think they should, if they've put planning, if they may be making that plan, I think they should just stop it, because it's going to be an embarrassment to me. Why will you go to a foreign country, or you go to another man's country to parade what you want? Trophy. It's the African Nations Cup, not the World Cup.
And it's also a spite on CAF. It's also a spite on African football.
We just hope it's a rumor. We just hope it's a rumor.
Let's just hope so.
because unnecessary.
We're moving straight from there to what's happening with Kylian Mbappe of France as he shines against Brazil when France defeated Brazil by 2-1 just yesterday in a friendly encounter right there. And so much power play here and injury concerns in this segment. On the pitch, football reminded us of why we love it. Kylian Mbappe delivered yet another stand-up performance, scoring in France national football team's 2-1 victory over Brazil's national football team in a high-profile international friendly. In fact, you can say that's like top 5 international friendly. That's the kind of friendly Nigeria should be playing there out there. However, the excitement was slightly overshadowed for concerns of injury to Rafinha, the Barcelona forward who left the pitch with a suspected hamstring injury, raising alarms for FC Barca fans. Right there, the man showed both brilliance and fragility of football. Moments of magic, but also ever-present risk in all these international friendly encounters. So Kylian Mbappe currently the most decisive player in the world, especially in high-pressure matches. Would you agree to that?
Definitely, because you look at Kylian Mbappe, when it comes to those big games, even for both club and country, he always find a way to be involved. We saw him at the the last World Cup where Argentina defeated France. He scored 3 goals despite they didn't win. I could still remember, is it the Kings Cup?
2 penalty goals and one
is it the Kings Cup final or is it the Copa del Rey? The one Barcelona won also. We saw him also. He was involved. I think he came up from the bench to got the goal for them. So it's that kind of player that always gets involved. Unlike Erling Haaland, you look at Erling Haaland during finals, he hasn't scored for Manchester City in any of the finals.
And most of the cartoons get to put him on the shoulders of Rudiger. I said, baby on the shoulders of Rudiger. You see a lot of memes like he just gets pocketed in big matches.
And what's his name again? Kylian Mbappe. I think it's it's that player that you always rely on when you have big games because he's definitely going to
come to the party.
So it's now led for the other
so we can confidently say he is the most decisive player in the world now in terms of international football.
Definitely.
Beautiful.
Behind Messi and Ronaldo.
No, but those ones are out.
But they're still playing.
But they're not as decisive as they used to be.
As far as they're still playing, I think both players are still the two standard player in terms of when you talk about decisive right now. Until they hang their boots, that is when you can start picking up players that are ahead of them right now.
All right, so that's a big up for Kylian Mbappe and his fans. So if you're a lover of Kylian Mbappe, that's congratulations. You guys have just won our vote here for the most decisive player in world international football for Mbappe and also at club level. But let's look at Rafinha's injury here. How big do you think that setback is? Information gathered says he will be out for 5 weeks and he will miss about 7 matches for Barcelona. He sustained a hamstring injury, a tear in his hamstring in one of the lips of the 2 muscles of the hamstring. And how bad could this sound for Barcelona, knowing what lies ahead of them?
Well, it depends on how Barcelona, react to the injury. I think the manager should be having plan A, plan B, regarding individual players, being absent. But for Barcelona, it's going to be a very big blow if you ask me. Missing 7 games, at least 7 games is definitely what it means that the season is almost over. Though the whole 7 games will not be in the same competition. I think it's going to miss the quarterfinal of the Champions League. There's also the La Liga. I think also one of the cup games also. But Rafinha, at this stage now where Barcelona needs to finish stronger and you are missing one of your key players, that's a very big blow to Barcelona. But you look at it now, they have Atletico Madrid. I think the Barcelona next game will be Atletico Madrid against Atletico Madrid, and they'll be playing Atletico Madrid in the Champions League also. And we remember, is it the Copa del Rey now? They were knocked out by the same Atletico Madrid, and you need your best players to play this kind of games. So it's a very big blow.
Barcelona lost the first leg of the Copa del Rey because Rafinha was not informed.
And we saw the return leg.
Back to play, we saw how Barca got into that game and got 3 goals.
So it's a very big blow for Barcelona, but Barcelona needs just to find a way to manage, his absence. Otherwise, everything it might be over before he comes back from injury.
Right. So it's actually going to be difficult for the attack of Barca without Rafinha. We have Lewandowski, who is of course in his twilight as it is, and Lamine Yamal, who can do so much, but without a presence of a very strong force leader like Rafinha, I think Barcelona should just prepare for the worst as it is, because there's no replacement for him in that team. I don't think Rashford can come to the party.
Rashford can do the job.
Can he do what Rafinha does? Look at the pressure
he doesn't need to do 100% of what Rafinha does. He just needs to produce at least 70-80% of what Rafinha is doing for Barcelona. If he can do that, that means they are good to go.
But the question is, does he have the capacity?
I think so. He has it. If you ask me, I think Rashford has more potential than what's his name, Rafinha. If not for what happened, suddenly he just lost, his confidence at Manchester United. Was being sent out on loan. Even when he was at Manchester United, he started having fewer game times. The press, everything just dampened the spirit. But right now, he's rediscovering his form, and I think he can take this opportunity. With the absence of Rafinha, make that left wing side his own starting position. Even when Rafinha comes, it will be very difficult if he can, give Barcelona, a much improved performance than the one even Rafinha is giving. If Rafinha comes back, Rafinha will find it very difficult to keep him on the bench.
Right, so football continues to deliver drama on and off the pitch of play, from transfer battles and international controversies to world-class performances. The game keeps evolving, and so do the conversations around it. We have touched on several subjects today and several topics, and painfully enough, we wish Rafinha a quick recovery and return to active football. And of course, congratulations again to Mbappe for coming to the party and for all those wonderful players. And we saw Lewandowski also putting in something for Poland yesterday and doing so well. And Poland won the match.
Yeah.
They're out for the next stage now.
Yeah, they're also looking for a way to get themselves into the World Cup. I think they are one game away from going to the World Cup, and it will be a very good one if Poland goes to the World Cup with what's his name again, Lewandowski, because this will be the last World Cup, and also this will be the last World Cup for Messi and Ronaldo. I think most of these players you don't want to miss their last dance, so you want to be involved also. That is why most of these players are doing everything to help their country to progress or make it to the World Cup, and that where the pain comes for Nigeria. Nigeria will not be part of, though not officially, but if you ask me, I don't think we will be there, because I don't see any reason for what they call them now. Is it CAS? The football upturning. Yeah. So. It's a big blow for us not being at the World Cup, but for Lewandowski, I think he wants to be there, so that in the history book he will also say, I hang my boot, or I quit. The last World Cup I played was the last World Cup Messi and Ronaldo played also.
Right, so Lewandowski is gonna have the last dance here, because the age is telling, and it looks like this is getting over. So, ladies and gentlemen, viewers and fans and world football lovers out there, once again, this is Premier Sports Fan Center, and this is Talk Sport, our podcast right here that we deliver in-depth analysis and breakdown of football and roundups of what's going on in the world of football. Today has been another wonderful episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Please put your comment in our comment section on YouTube and on Facebook. We love to read from you. We'll love to see your responses, and we love to see you tackling us. And peradventure, there's anything you want to add to what we have said, kindly put it there. We'll be willing to respond very quickly. Until we meet again, this is Talk Sport again. This is Premier Sports Fan Center. My name is Yinka Adeguyi. Until we see you next time, keep enjoying the world of football. Bye for now. Thank you, Paulo, for coming.
Another goal for Super Eagles.
For bold conversation, sharp analysis, and stories shaping the world of football. My name is Yinka Adeguyi. Friends call me the doc around here. And with me in the studio tonight to look at various topics and various subjects we're discussing is Poloski. Polo, you're welcome.
Yeah, good evening. Thanks for having me. So excited to be back here again.
Right, so welcome to this world of sport, and you're welcome tonight. Today's episode is loaded. In fact, it is fully booked and packed out. From controversy in Super Eagles squad to a blockbuster final in England, a shocking twist, transfer twist involving United's biggest stars, and finally, Champions League ties for the quarter-final round of 8. And let's get it started as we go straight into it. But I want you to know you're on Premier Sports Fan Center, and I want you to sign on, subscribe, and tell a friend to subscribe, or share the page with a friend so that we can have much more people subscribing to the channel, and we can have the show reaching as many people as possible. And we're going straight into it right now, and we're looking at the first segment of this. Super Eagles squad, the missing stars debate. The latest Super Eagles squad list has stirred serious reactions across Nigeria. The absence of key names like Victor Osimhen and Stanley Nwabali has left fans confused and in some cases frustrated. Instead, attention has shifted to fresh faces: Emmanuel Fernandez, Philip Otele, Collins Girasor. Young talents expected to step up and prove themselves on the international stage, of course, as invited by Eric Chell. This feels like a transition moment. Is this a tactical rebuild, or is it a risky gamble by Eric Chell? So here, Paulo, we're looking at this issue right now, and these exclusions of Osimhen and Nwabali particularly. Will these be tactical decisions, or do they hint at deeper issues happening at the national team setup?
I don't think they were excluded intentionally or for any tactical or any other reason other than injury. We saw Victor Osimhen, he pulled out of the game involving Liverpool in the Champions League. He didn't came back for the second half. At halftime he was withdrawn, so he's out injured. So I see no reason why Nigeria will be calling him. And also the goalkeeper Stanley Nwabali. Though Stanley Nwabali case is a little bit different from Victor Osimhen, because they've been called from some quarters of Nigerian fans about Stanley Nwabali performance of late for the Super Eagle. We know what he has done with for the Super Eagle since he got his first invite. He has been very good, but of late I think it's always under pressure. Whenever he's in go for Nigeria now, and I don't think there's any Nigerian that'll be surprised that he was dropped. And I think he was also out injured also, but I don't think those players that were dropped because of any technical or tactical reasons other than them being out injured.
Right. So to buttress that point, I think Osimhen has been confirmed to have a fracture.
Yeah.
He
had a surgery also.
And he had a surgery today or yesterday.
Yesterday.
He was due to have a surgery right after that. So it's just for injury reasons. Yeah. Nothing particularly technical or nothing particularly tactical about it. Well, still looking at the point here, can this new players truly handle the pressure of representing Nigeria at such a crucial stage?
Well, I think this is the time or the opportunity for the manager to start inviting new players, maybe testing players that a lot of Nigerians see on their television week in week out. More especially those ones that carry BS Nigerian name, and even in the local league. This is the right time, opportunity for them to be tested, because right now we are only playing friendly games, and we are not going to the World Cup as it stands, and the Nations Cup is still far off. So if you can't test these players now, if you can't give them the opportunity now, I don't know when you are going to give them the opportunity again. Is it when we are playing qualifier, or when we are qualifying for the World Cup or the Nations Cup, that's when we start experimenting or trying new players. And I think those new players that will be given the opportunity now, I think this is a once in a lifetime opportunity, because one thing we know about Nigerians, they don't easily forgive most of our players. When you make mistakes, they remember that all the time, even when you are one of the best. We saw what happened with Victor Sime, Ademola Lookman and co. Nigerians, even Yakuba Egbeni, up to today, Nigerians still remember. But they've forgotten all the good he has done in the past.
Goals. But how many goals is this?
Yeah,
52 games he played for Nigeria.
These new players, I think they should grab the opportunity, being given to them by the manager. Now take it, show what showcase yourself. Let Nigerians see what you are capable of. Then Nigerians will be the judge. The next time that we are playing a friendly or any international match, and if the manager fail to call up that player, you see Nigerians will speak up for you. So I think those players should take the opportunity being presented to them now. And one other thing regarding this friendly game, I don't know if it's going to even hold, because I think we are playing Iran and one other country. And I don't know if Iran is going to be, if Iran is in the right moment at right now, to play any games right now. Though Iran also, they are preparing for the World Cup, which we don't know if they will be participating or not, because there's been some discussion ongoing. Because we heard the other time the Iranian F.C. were saying they would love to participate in the World Cup, but they don't want to play on the American soil. And secondly, they are all three features. They will be playing it in the US there. US. And we heard Donald Trump also saying, probably, it doesn't feel right for Iran to be part of the World Cup. So we don't know anything yet. And at the moment now, I'm afraid the friendly involving Nigeria and Iran, I don't think it's even Iran we should be playing friendly against. I always have issue when we are playing, teams that, to me, I think, we are better than. Though at times it also give you, when you win those kind of games, it helps you improve your FIFA ranking and stuff. But the caliber of team also matter. When you play England and lose, and when you play Iran and win, it's not the same point you get. They look at the opposition also. So I think Nigeria, though they fix those friendly, I'm not saying they should not play, but I don't know if that friendly will be going ahead.
All right, so you heard it from Poloski right there. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel, press the bell button. Premier Sports Fan Center is reaching you right from the heart of Nigeria and the whole world at large. And we move on straight to Carabao Cup final fever. Man City versus Arsenal Football Club. What did Guardiola have to say about this? He made a statement. He said, perhaps this is an opportunity for our players to wake up and do something different than they've been doing recently. So all eyes turn to Wembley as Man City face Arsenal in what many are calling the perfect final. Of course, EPL number 1 versus EPL number 2 are going to face themselves in the Carabao Cup over this weekend. Under Pep Guardiola, City are chasing dominance, while Arsenal, we know, are looking to prove they're no longer just contenders, but champions in the making. With both teams still fighting on multiple fronts. This match is more than just a trophy. Of course, multiple fronts for Arsenal. Of course, City is out of the Champions League. They're still in APL and still in the FA, and they will keep on fighting in that. And they want to pick up the Carabao Cup, possibly. So does Arsenal. And we want to know if this psychological battle can be won by either City or Arsenal. You want to look at it like, okay, both of them will be playing the psychological battle right there. So does this winning final give either team a mental advantage, even concerning the EPL title race?
Well, I think it does. A win for either of the team will definitely give the. I think even both team will give both team a sense of belonging, irrespective of whoever win or lose. But let me start with Manchester City. I think this week could be, this final could be the defining week or game for Manchester City, because recently now they've been knocked out of the. Let me go back as far as 2 weeks ago. They were also, being thought of winning a quadruple, same as Arsenal. Suddenly now they find themselves 9 points behind Arsenal in the league, and still inside that same week they've been knocked out of the in the Champions League, and now they are playing the Carabao Cup. If they lose that one, it means
they are left with the FA.
With the FA, which they might also lose and go trophyless. So I think Manchester City
for
needs
the second season running.
For the second season running, I think Manchester City needs to take the game more serious than Arsenal. And for Arsenal also, they know that a win in this one will definitely also put Manchester City on the edge, because if Manchester City lose this one, Manchester City will want to make sure they do everything possible to see if they can push Arsenal to the last day in the league, because right now it's a 9 point and Man City have a game in hand, though it's still 9 points because they've not played that game. And for Arsenal, I think Arsenal also need the game, because if Arsenal fails to win this, you see the naysayers, those especially the likes of Mikel Obi coming out to start casting aspersion against Arsenal's chances of winning the league also, and it could be the turning point also for Arsenal. So I think both teams need it, and it could be the reason anybody that wins it can also be a motivation for the team.
Right, so you heard it right there. So who needs this trophy the most? City to assert dominance, or Arsenal to validate their rights? Of course, you've answered all this together in your commentary just now. I think both teams need it to validate their positions. One, dominance. Number two, assert validation to their rights. And should Arsenal win it, it will be a celebration for the Gunners.
Well, I think if you ask me, who needs it the most between both teams, I think it should be Arsenal, because this is a trophy Arsenal has not won since the last time they won that trophy. I think it should be 1992-93 season, and Arsenal has gone the longest among the two since the last time they won a trophy. And Mikel Arteta needs to start bringing something on the table for people to be able to respect him, because right now a lot of fans, especially the rival fans, they've not given Mikel Arteta the credit he really deserves. But I think he needs to make sure he do everything possible legally. I don't want to use the Mikel Obi's word, Arsenal cheating or trying to win the league illegally. I don't know what it means by that, but Mikel Arteta,
various corner kick tricks, crowding the goalkeeper.
Mikel Arteta needs to
crowding the goalkeeper.
Mikel Arteta needs to do everything possible to win that one. And if he wins that one, it's going to be a very good
deal
for him.
Arsenal has been called the corner.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Arsenal corner kicks are part of the game.
Of course,
it's not.
When a team is a specialist at corner,
every team has one thing that they are special about. Like Chelsea, for instance, this is they are very good at collecting red card or receiving red card. So that's their own specialty.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so you heard it from Paulo right there. Arsenal needs it more because he's an Arsenal fan, and because of the length of time Arsenal last won the Carabao Cup, possibly about 36 years ago. And we're talking of also last time they picked up anything, which was the FA 2019, I think. 2019. That's about 6 years ago. Of course, City has been winning 21, 23.
I think it was 24. Last season only they failed to pick up at least anything. Any
trophy, yeah. So our City is Arsenal needs it the more, but City also needs it to boost the morale. And of course, the paycheckers also need to know they're not just paying for nothing. They're paying so much. They're dropping so much money.
I'm especially, if you consider how much Manchester City
they spent in the last two seasons. You want to take something. Small. If it's Carabao, let's take it. Let's just keep it. So we'll be looking out for that over the weekend, whether it's Arsenal, whether it's Carabao going down to City. Wherever it's going, we're going to see that over the weekend. But according to Paulo, Arsenal needs it more. So we're looking at this is a topic we've spoken about a couple of times before, but it's still a matter ongoing. Marcus Rashford's transfer is a transfer saga that is still going on, and it's one of the stories that we have actually dissected here on Talk Sport at Premier Sports Fan Center And of course, we'll just gloss over it and let you know the update on that transfer issue. As it is right now, Marcus is at the center of a major decision. United reportedly won £26 million. They won more than 26 million that Barca is willing to pay, and they're saying pay 26 million plus or send him back to us. And Barca is saying, look, we want to pay less than that, possibly 20 million pounds. And Barca is even saying, look, we want to play staggered. After rediscovering his form in Spain, Rashford looks revitalized, but his future remains uncertain. This is not just about money, it's about identity, it's about career direction for Marcus Rashford, because where is he going to start from if he returns to Arsenal, to United as it is, and where he truly belongs. And from what we gather, he's happy to be in Barcelona, he's enjoying Spain. The fans love him. The team loves him. The dressing room actually appreciates what he's bringing to the pot. And I'm just going to throw this at you, Poloski. Should United cash in now, or could selling Rashford come to hunt him later, especially with the new management coming on? Carrick might need Rashford. What do you think?
Well, I think it has been. I think Manchester United should have cashed on Rashford about 2-3 seasons ago. I think they waited too long, and the other issue is because his salary. His salary has been issue regarding Marcus Rashford. Teams that wants to take him either permanently or they can't afford the wages, and because we know how Manchester United and Barcelona came to agreement before regarding his wages before he moved over there. But
I guess they're both paying.
Yeah, at the same time, I think Manchester United should just accept the money. I know Barcelona will not go less than 20 million euros. I don't think they will go less than that. It can be more than 20 million euros, up to 30.
I think they're offering euros. 20 million pounds.
So I know it will go less than that, and I think Manchester United should just take that money and let Marcus Rashford leave for good, because I don't see any impact he's coming back to make at Manchester United again. I just hope what happened to Jadon Sancho will not happen to Marcus Rashford. And at the same time, I think Barcelona should do everything possible to or find a way to keep Marcus Rashford. One thing about Marcus Rashford at Barcelona right now is that I think he has accepted that he's not going to be probably the key player, the starter. Yeah, is happy to come up from the bench. Then anytime he starts a game, I think he's also happy.
Makes an impact.
He's a squad player. Yes. He's happy to be a squad player, and like you said, he's enjoying his game at Barcelona compared to what we saw in his last season at Manchester United. There, everything was very toxic for him. So I think Manchester United should accept the cash. Barcelona should do everything possible to keep Marcus Rashford.
Now, is there any iota of doubt at all that Marcus Rashford may still desire to return to United, or do you think he's found a footballing home in Barca?
Well, it's not. It's possible, because right now they have, depending on the manager, we need to look at the manager first. I think he will be also looking at the manager. He knows they have one of their own right now at the moment. Though it's
I think they play together as players. I think Carrick was
to remember probably maybe the last season before Michael Carrick retired. So and he knows they have Michael Carrick now. Though we don't know at Manchester United, we don't know if Michael Carrick will be in charge come next season. He's still interim. So but if he's going to be in charge, he might want to look at it. Oh, we have somebody that comes from there is a Manchester United product also. Though Michael Carrick is not Manchester United Academy. I think they brought him from I'm trying to remember, I think West Ham, if I'm correct. And so
they spent amount of his playing years.
Was very with Manchester. He was young when he joined them. So Marcus Rashford might be looking at that, and I think even before for him to make the decision to come back or decide to stay at Manchester, and I think he will have to have a one-on-one conversation with the manager. Then if the manager has a plan for him, I think it's the manager that should be convincing Marcus Rashford.
But the issue right now is that as a flick, as a manager, is assuring Rashford and the entire socios in Barca that he wants Rashford to stay on.
That is why I said Barcelona should be doing everything possible
Right, so I think Barca is actually doing everything possible. We even heard rumors over the week that Barca is willing to pay in tranches
Installment.
to get Marcus Rashford signed on. But that is still ongoing, and it's a debate that will continue until we see the final clicking and the signing of the paper. So straight on, we move into Champions League. Quarter-final rounds have been drawn, and the Giants will collide. UEFA Champions League quarter-final has delivered pure football drama. And these are not just matches, they are battles of legacy, history, and pride. Of course, Real Madrid will be facing Bayern Munich. Which of these European giants has the mentality to survive the historic rivalry once again? This is another El Clasico. I think Real Madrid is just faced with the El Clasicos of Champions League. First, it was against Man City. Now they have to face the big Bayern Munich. High scoring side, you will say.
Well, I think they put themselves in that position. Talking about Real Madrid, I'm not talking about Bayern Munich now. Because it was where they finished on the log during the group stages. That's why they are the first battle Benfica. They played Benfica. They knocked
That's
Benfica for the playoff. Then Manchester City. Now you are facing Bayern Munich. If you escape that one, you'll be playing either PSG or Liverpool. So it's not looking very good, for Real Madrid. I think the same thing for Bayern Munich also. But Bayern Munich, they finished second behind Arsenal. But at the same time now, they will be facing that route now also. Yes. So it's going to be a very big one. I think apart from the Arsenal, Paris Saint-Germain, Arsenal, Sporting CP, I think every other game left in the quarterfinal is a very, very trickish one that no one can accurately say this team is going to dismantle.
But who of these two? Which of these two do you think can survive this?
Well, at the moment,
likely.
At the moment, I think it should be Bayern Munich with the way they are playing. They're enjoying. They're playing a very beautiful football, enjoying their football. With Real Madrid, you don't know what to expect. They have injury concerns. I think. Is it the goalkeeper now? I think the last time I heard
Thibaut Courtois is out, possibly for 6 months or so.
So we don't know. So I think Real Madrid were very lucky to have knocked out Manchester City. The way they did, because before the game, I think everything was against them. But for Real Madrid, you can't write them off in the Champions League. I think they are one of the teams, or the only team that luck has always shined upon in the Champions League. That is why they have 15 Champions League. And if you look at Real Madrid in the last 4 or 5 seasons, maybe the last 3 Champions League they won. If you ask me, based on performance for those seasons, I don't think they really merit it, but they had luck on their side. So I think that luck can also count for them against Bayern Munich. But Bayern Munich will be very, very too odd for them.
Right, so I think Bayern may just nip out to Real Madrid if that luck factor didn't come to play. But in football, the luck factor cannot be eliminated. So we move on straight to Paris Saint-Germain and Liverpool. Can PSG do this? Can they push out Liverpool from this? I think they did it last season.
Yeah, I think
this is another season.
This should be an opportunity for Liverpool now to try and get their own.
Do you think Liverpool has the power to fight this PSG?
Well, I think Arne Slot should be looking at this and and try and find a way, because this is the only probably apart from, I think they're still in the FA Cup, because they'll be facing Manchester City in the quarter final of the FA Cup. I think this should be another opportunity for the manager to be saying, look boys, let us put in our best and try and stop this PSG. Right now PSG, they are in form. We saw what they did to Chelsea, home and away, 8-2, and that's a very, very scary
very
scoreline.
scary.
So last season we saw Liverpool top the Champions League, and the first in the round of 16 they were knocked out by this same PSG, who went all the way to the final and win it. So
they won it. They won it in the final by whooping 5 goals.
That was one of the most easiest final you see
5 goals
in
to
the history
0
of Champions League. And PSG will be, I think they also should be very worried, because they know that Liverpool want to, try and revenge what happened to them last season. Though Liverpool won the first leg at the Parc des Princes, but PSG came to Anfield, matched the
knocked them
scoreline,
out.
and I think they went to extra time to penalty shootout also. So it's going to be a very, very interesting one. But I think PSG should be having the upper hand right now.
Wow, so this is going to be a tough one. This is going to really be a tough one. But if you ask me, I'm giving it to PSG.
Well, on paper, a lot of teams will give it to PSG, just like the way a lot of people gave it to Manchester City against Real Madrid. But
No, but was it banana peel? City, Real Madrid?
yeah, but
Look at precedents. The last 4 seasons, Real Madrid have been edging them out, except one for City.
but at the same time, look at going into that game. That's why I said Real Madrid has been one of those teams that, when it comes to Champions League, that luck has always been on that side. Because look at players that are available for that game. There was no Kylian Mbappe. There was no Rodrigo. Manchester City, Real Madrid were missing, a lot of key players. Unlike Manchester City, they had more firepower also during the transfer window. You could, if the bookmakers, were giving everything to Manchester City, but after 120 minutes of football, it was Real Madrid home and away. So for the game involving PSG and Liverpool also, I think it's going to be a very tight one. I don't expect to see 8-2 aggregate scoreline. Last season I think it was 1-1 goal, between both teams. So I expect to see less go, and it's going to be a very, very. It's going to be. I think the both managers will be the deciding factor. Regarding who is going to promote it, because it's going to be a very, very tactical game.
Right, so we move on straight to Sporting CP versus Arsenal. Sporting will be playing the first leg in Lisbon, and Arsenal will be returning for the second leg of the encounter. Is this Arsenal's moment to dominate Europe, or could Sporting pull off a major upset? Do you think so?
Upset is not always impossible in football. We've seen it a lot of times, and if you think because you are the big boy and you just go there and feel relaxed, you'll be knocked out. But Sporting CP also will be looking at this game. Last season they played Arsenal and they suffered a very, very heavy defeat. I think Arsenal defeated them by 7 goals to 1 or 2. I'm trying to remember. I know it was 1 leg. I think it was in the group stage. They played, yeah. So they were beaten, and right now they themselves they want to try and make sure they throw a spanner in the work of Arsenal. Though they were also lucky to be in this. They still be in the quarterfinal now. We saw the last game they played in the round of 16. They lost the first leg by 3 goals to 0, and they came back in the second leg and they scored 5. I think that's one of the probably the biggest upset comeback, though not the biggest. I think we saw
5 unreplied goals.
4-0. That was, I think, is it 4-0? Barcelona AS Roma. I'm trying to remember the scoreline in the first leg.
This is the biggest.
I think this should be the biggest. So
and we saw Barca scoring 6-1.
Yeah,
and that's bigger than this.
Yeah. So I think for Arsenal, they've been given probably one of the easiest fixture or easiest team among the remaining 8 teams. I think Sporting CP should be ranked the lowest among the old team, and Arsenal probably one of the favorite to lift it. So it's going to be I'm not saying it's going to be an easy game, but it's going to be an interesting game to watch. We know Sporting are also good when it comes to playing beautiful football. They attack a lot. That's why most of their games always produce.
And then when they attack Arsenal, they will open up.
They will open up, and now they have Arsenal have their talisman.
I think there are going to be a lot of goals in that.
I expect a lot of goals in that game,
and very likely in favor of Arsenal.
Yeah.
Something marginal like 6-1 on the aggregate or 7-2 thereabout.
Well, I don't think Sporting will,
because Arsenal defense is strong enough to withhold Sporting. But and I know the Arsenal attack will score goals.
Definitely.
So let's not scream it. This is Arsenal's game.
Yeah, and I think it will be a very, very embarrassing one if Arsenal fail to go through.
Yes, it will be embarrassing. It will be a very big upset. But this is Arsenal game. Right. So guys, Arsenal, get ready for another round of semi-finals already, because trust me, The Gunners are not going to sleep over this. They're going to run at the Sporting CP, and they're going to likely get a win on the aggregate. I think we have done quite justice to the Champions League thing as it is. The 4 fixtures we have,
I think
the
we
8
had,
of them.
Barcelona.
So we're looking at Bayern Munich likely going through over Real Madrid, PSG likely going through over Liverpool, and then perhaps Bayern Munich will face PSG, and Sporting will likely suffer from the hands of Arsenal. And we have to talk about Barcelona and Atletico Madrid, and that's the last feature of the 8. Paulo is so happy to talk about this. This is going to be a super cracker. It's going to be another El Clasico in Spain. In all this Spanish clash, which philosophy will likely prevail here? Attacking flair or the defensive discipline of Atletico? Even that defensive discipline has not stopped them from conceding goals against Barca. What are your expectations for this encounter?
Well, I expect to see a lot of goals again. We saw both teams played. I think, is it the Copa del Rey or Kings Cup?
Yes, 4-3.
Yeah, 4-3.
7 goals.
7 goals. Scored across 120 minutes. Atletico Madrid only edged Barcelona as a result of the 4 goals they scored in the first leg. In the second leg, Barcelona almost did the comeback, and this time around, I think if Atletico Madrid try to do something like that again, I think it's going to on them or buy them back. But
this time around, the first leg will be at the Camp Nou.
No, I think Barcelona will be away from home.
Barca is playing first. Camp Nou.
But Barcelona didn't play playoff.
No, they didn't. It was explained. It was actually a controversy, and then it was explained. Barca playing at home first, and then going away to Atletico.
So that means, I think the first leg will be very, very crucial then to
extremely
either
crucial
of the team
to Barca,
for Barca, even for Atletico Madrid, because if they go to Camp Nou now and lose by 3-4 goals, I don't see them overturning that score.
They can overturn 3 goals. Barca almost did,
but I don't think
4.
That's Barcelona. For Atletico Madrid, I don't think they'll be able to do that. But it's possible in football. But I think Barcelona can be able to overturn 3 goals against Atletico Madrid than Atletico Madrid overturning 3 goals against Barcelona. So, but on paper, I think everybody will be fancying Barcelona, to make it to the next round, which is the semi-final.
Right. So, as it looks more like let's fancy Barcelona. Just for the sake of this discussion, we want to fancy the chances of FC Barca Football Club de Barcelona edging out Atletico de Madrid right there in Spain. And for your comments and analysis, your comments and objections, and for any comment at all concerning the topics and your opinions on these matters, please put it in our comment section on YouTube or Facebook. We have both pages willing and ready to accommodate your comment, and we'll respond very, very quickly to your commentary. And from that, we move on straight right now. That's all for today's Talk Sport on Premier Sports Fan Center, where football conversations. Welcome to this wonderful FA Cup match between Chelsea and Leeds. We apologize for coming in late for this, but we have been trying to show the animated version of the match. My name is Yinka Adegbuyi, and I'm with you on this show, Premier Sports Fan Center Watch Along Show 2025-2026 FA Cup semi-finals between Chelsea and Leeds right there. So the match is 58 minutes gone already as it is, and we see Chelsea dominating play here in the game. Chelsea has been bossing this, and Chelsea seem to be in action. And of course, we saw Leeds just a few seconds ago with a chance to level up, but the header was taught by Sanchez, and Leeds got just secured a free kick right there. And a yellow card has been shown to Caicedo, the Chelsea holding midfielder, for a very bad play there. He stepped on the player, the Leeds player, and the referee brought out his card, but I think that was mild. That wouldn't, looking at the replay, that shouldn't have deserved a card. But the referee had already issued one before we saw the replay. As it is, we also have Sanchez on the floor, the goalkeeper for Chelsea, sitting on the floor and asking for medical aid. Well, we could see the coach of Leeds City complaining, and he possibly believes this is a time-wasting activity. Oh, well, that should be a time-wasting prank by Sanchez, but we're yet to tell. This is just the 60th minute. I don't think Sanchez will be wasting time using these tactics at this point of the game. The game still has well over half an hour to go. If you add the added injury time, which is inevitable. So as it is, we're looking at corner kicks taken. We have taken in all 9 corner kicks in this encounter, and 6 had gone the way of Chelsea and 3 the way of Leeds City. So far so good. There have been goalkeeper saves, 3 in favor of Chelsea, while the keeper of Leeds City had just 1 save. 7 shots at a piece for either side. And then we have 13 tackles on the side of Leeds City, while Chelsea only 8 tackles. Free kicks have been 7 for Leeds City, while Chelsea had 8 so far. And 1 yellow card only, which has been issued to no other than Moises Caicedo, Chelsea's holding midfielder. And the Leeds City is still gathering up, trying to play their free kick just at the edge of the Chelsea 18 box. The 18-yard box is where the ball sits. It's a dangerous position with the tall strikers of Leeds City, especially their number 9 man, who just nicked one to the goalkeeper, and the cross will come in, and a chance, and that was so close, but it was just off the goal line. It was a trickish one, but it went just out into touch for a goal kick. Went off the line. It didn't get to the post. The keeper went for it. We actually thought was coming for the post, but it was not a very good kick. And Chelsea has been given a chance to restart the game from there, and Sanchez will take a longish one into the half of Leeds City. And as it is, Chelsea has a chance here to get into a final. Remember, Chelsea has no chance of winning the EPL, and as it is, Chelsea has been long out of any European tournament. As it stands, they are also knocked out of Carabao Cup early in time, and that was won by Manchester City. So this is the only trophy available for Chelsea to win, the one that they're still actively participating in. And yesterday we saw Manchester City find their way into the final of the FA Cup. They found their way into the final, winning by 2-0 yesterday. And they have taken the book their spot right there at Wembley for the final. So they're waiting for who is going to face them at the final. So as we are in this game, Leeds City is still playing the ball in the back, trying to move the ball around, looking for how to penetrate the Chelsea midfield and defense. So while they're at it, we'll try and take a look at the score that started the game and what changes have taken place. I'll be reeling that to you shortly. Stay right here. If you're yet to subscribe to our channel, please do well to click on the subscribe button It is Premier Sports Fan Center. This is our watch along show. We have various shows on this channel. We have a weekly Talk Sport program where we discuss analysis of trends and events in the world of football. And we also have watch along shows. We also do Vox Pops on the streets. You can click on the channel and pick on any video that seems to catch your interest. We have a lot of videos on our channel, short videos, long videos, full matches, etc., etc. So, but right now we're focused on the match between Chelsea Football Club of London and Leeds, also of London. So I'm trying to reel out the players, the lineup to you. A change has just been made. We saw a Chelsea player being taken out. Lavia has just been taken out, and it's been replaced by Santos, Esteville, I think. No, Andre Santos is replacing Latvia, midfielder for midfielder, right there. So starting this game for Chelsea, we have Sanchez at the goal, and right in front of Sanchez we have Gusto, Chalaba, Adarabioyo, Kukureya, and right in front of them we have Moses Caicedo and Lavia, and in front of those holding defenders or holding midfielders, you have Pedro Neto playing from the right flank, Fernandez more in the center, and Garnacho playing from the left flank, all playing behind João Pedro, who is spearheading the attack for Chelsea. A few changes have been made, although a few changes, or one or two changes have been made. Lavia has been taken out for Andre Santos as it is right now. He was changed at the 62nd minute of the game. And just saw a shot, a wishful shot taken by Kukulea right there, right from the midfield, and it was just picked up lazily by the goalkeeper of Leeds. It didn't bother the goalkeeper at all. So let's take a look at the Leeds lineup, the starting lineup for Leeds City. And the goalpost we have Perry. Right in front of Perry, we got Justin, Biol, and Strauss. They're playing a three-man defense line, central defense, central back, three back line of those three, and then right in front of those three, we have Bogu, we have Ampadu, Tanaka, and Goodmanson. Those are the four right in front of the central back or central defense, or the last line of defense as it is. And then right in front of them we have Aronson and Okafor, and these are providers for the top striker Harvard Lowen, who has been putting a lot of attack on Chelsea side. As it is, the game is holding right here in Wembley, and the players are quite happy to be here. Every player wants to play in Wembley. It's about the one of the prestigious oldest grounds of English football. I could say one of the oldest organized grounds of football, not just for England, because we've known of Wembley from very long ago. So let's take a look at the benches. For Leeds City, we have a few people on the bench that can make differences. Ro Rodden, Anton Stach, Carl Dallo, Sebastian Bono, Sean Longstaff also, Daniel James, Wilfred Noto, Joel Price, Piro, and Lucas Mecha. And taking a look at the Chelsea bench, we have Andre Santos, who has just come in to replace Romeo Latvia. And then we have Teddy Sherman Lowe, and then Josh Achampong. Wesley Fofana is also on the bench. Jarell Hato, Dario Esugo, Jesse Derry, Cole Palmer, and Liam Delap are all waiting to support the team when the coach calls them up. All right, so as the game is, we can see Cole Palmer warming up on the bench, warming up on the touchline rather. Yeah, I guess it's preparing to come into this game anytime from now. That's Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer has the turn team. While they're still there, Pedro Neto tried to attack on the side of Leeds, but the lead defenders wouldn't allow that to happen. He was stopped before he could cause any danger. Now Chelsea still controls the game. They have the possession of the ball, passing the ball around and trying to deny Leeds from getting in touch with the ball. And Chelsea will attack from the left flank. Garnacho on the ball, trying to find his way into the 18. But he lost that to Leeds. And Leeds will take it from there and start the attack. But Moses Caicedo will put his leg to it and give away a throw-in to to Leeds City in the half of Leeds City, while stopping the advancement of Leeds attack. That's a beautiful interception from Caicedo right there. So while we're taking a look at the FA, we have football matches going across Europe, all happening about the same time. Some happened a little earlier. We'll also be updating you of what's happening in the Nigerian Premier League as well. So while Leeds is still trying to get something off this game, Chelsea is trying to ensure that doesn't happen very easily. And I don't blame them, because this is, as I said earlier, the only opportunity for them to win a silverware this season. Should they lose out today, Leeds will have to face City at the final of the FA Cup. And that means no trophy for Chelsea for 2025-2026. Remember last season, Chelsea had a glorious one at the international level. At the European level, they won the Conference League. And going to the World Club Cup, they also won the World Club Cup, in which were all other world club stars like Real Madrid, PSG, Bayern Munich, Atletico Madrid, and so on and so forth. So here there is a chance for Chelsea to advance to the final of the FA, and of course an opportunity to win the FA Cup. So but first they must advance beyond Leeds. They're doing that right now. They're marking their territories properly. They lead by 1-0, and Leeds is following Chelsea in this one. And out there in Europe, we have the women of Arsenal playing Olympique Lyonnais, or Lions of France, as it is called, in the Champions League. And they're now at the knockout stage. Perhaps this is the quarterfinals. And you see Arsenal and Lions playing right here. And Lions lead Arsenal by 1-0. We also see in other parts of Europe, in Germany, Bundesliga going on. Stuttgart played a draw with Bremen. This is a chance for Leeds to even up, but oh no. Pedro Neto has got the ball now, turning defense into attack. Well, the lead defender, Starch, was right on time to stop Pedro Neto from advancing towards Yao Pedro. And the game continues. Cole Palmer will pick the ball. They will try and look for who to give it, but they left it for Malo Gusto. Augusto will pick it up for a throw-in. Perhaps a longish one, perhaps a short one. We're yet to see. He does a short one to his midfielder, who sends the ball back to him, and he will return the ball back to his defense line. Chelsea will rebuild from the back as it is. Leeds recover the ball, but Chelsea fouls. And the culprit here is no other than Enzo Fernandez. Enzo just committed a foul. Does he get a card? I don't think so. The referee gave him a verbal warning, promised him a card when that happens again. It was a deliberate foul. And a cross from Leeds City, but intercepted by Chelsea defense. João Pedro has the ball, tries to move forward, but it was stopped by that Leeds City player who gets his name on the card list. Struck. Just received a yellow card from the referee. And still at what's going on in Europe, we have Stuttgart playing a draw with Bremen. That is concluded. And then Dortmund just started against Freiburg right there at the Bundesliga. In the France Ligue 1, we have Lorient losing to Strasbourg 2-3. Le Havre leading Metz by 2-1. The game is at the 23rd minute right now. I have Paris FC still goalless with Lille. And Rennes 1 goal over Nantes. And Marseille and Nice are yet to begin the match. Right there at the Serie A in Italy, Florentino played a draw with Sassuolo. And Genoa lost 0-2 to Como. Cesc Fabregas Como did it again. And the way it looks, Cesc Fabregas Como will likely be playing in Europe next season. You know, they have ascended the ladder so quickly within the last 2 seasons of being promoted. And they're now playing with the big boys. They're number 4 on the league table. Number 4 or 5 as it is. Right, just sitting behind Juventus right there on the log is Como 1907. So Cole Palmer tries to find his way in, but he just moved that ball too much, a little too much into touch for a goal kick. A goal kick to Leeds, and because Palmer was annoyed, he kicked the ball away with his hand, and the referee just showed him a yellow card. Cole Palmer has just been found and has been fined by the referee. That was an absolutely avoidable fine. He needn't have committed that foul or received that penalty from the referee. Yeah, I guess these players need to be better in control of their emotion, irrespective of how they feel when on the field of play. Yet to come in the Serie A, we have Torino facing Inter Milan. This will be a very tough match. Torino will be facing Inter later in the day, 5 p.m. And Milan, AC Milan, will be facing Juventus by 7 p.m. right there in the Serie A. Coming to Spain, we see the La Liga, Rayo Vallecano hosting Real Sociedad, all playing 3 goals apiece. 6 goal cracker in that one. Rayo Vallecano 3, Real Sociedad 3 at the La Liga. Concluded match already. And then we'll have an ongoing match between Real Oviedo and Elche. Elche is leading that one by 2-0. So the hosts are actually on their backs for this. Still to come in La Liga, we have Osasuna taking on Sevilla and Villarreal taking on Celta Vigo later in the day. So as it is, Chelsea is still bossing the game, and right now Chelsea has a chance to play from a free kick based on an infringement committed on one of theirs in the midfield, and Enzo Fernandez will take a short one, passing the ball around until the ball returns to Adara Bioyo at the centre back. who will give the ball to his defense line. They'll move the ball to Malagusto, who sends it back to Adarabioyo and then to Kukureya. Mark Kukureya will give it back to Adarabioyo, who will send the longest one to the middle, but Leeds will quickly repel that. And Carl Havertz and Chelsea will regain possession. Chelsea will try to move forward. Oh, that's a big pass to Cole Palmer, but quickly stopped by that defender's touch for Leeds right there. Game has now crept to the 80th minute. We have 10 minutes of regulation time. As it is, Chelsea has one leg in the final. And would they put the second one? We're yet to know. They have just about 15-16 minutes to decide if their one leg is good enough to get into the final of the FA for 2025-26 season. That will be a very good opportunity for Chelsea's lackluster performance in the EPL to be crowned with a trophy. Should they go ahead into the final and win a trophy, I think that will, in a good way, cover up their sins of falling to the 8th position on the EPL. Presently, Chelsea sits at the 8th position, behind Brentford, behind Liverpool, behind Aston Villa, behind Manchester United, Manchester City, Arsenal. And that's not a place Chelsea wants to be, but that is where they are. So should they go ahead and win the FA, it will be a good compensation for a terrible, terrible performance from their team for the season. So we're still at the FA semi-finals between Chelsea Football Club and Leeds Football Club. The way Leeds is playing, it doesn't look like they're going to get anything out of this. There's no particular penetration. They have the ball a lot, but they're just playing around the midfield. No serious threats on the defense of Chelsea, except one or two moves which we saw earlier with Calvert-Lewin. Putting a header there which was saved by Sanchez, and a chance for a shot, and it was just over the bar, taken by Stach. You see the defender right there coming forward to take that shot. That was just going, always rising up until it went above the goal line for a goal kick to Chelsea. Let's restart the game from there. And they're just passing the ball around their half and showing too much respect to the Chelsea players, as we can see here. Although the Chelsea team has packed the midfield, they really loaded the midfield, and it's so difficult for Leeds to penetrate. No particular, no interesting penetration there. And Chelsea Leeds loses the ball whenever they try and make an attempt. There has been just so many yellow cards in this encounter so far. Another card has just been shown to a Leeds player, Lemecha, from there, and I think they collected about 4 yellow cards in the last 20 minutes. That's for a tackle, a terrible tackle on Moises Caicedo. It was a follow through after he went for a slider. A follow through on Caicedo. And of course, Chelsea will use that opportunity to take time. That's from Mecha. And Leeds is about to make some changes right now. You can join us in this conversation. Let's have your comments in our comment section. Put in your words. Let's get your opinion. Let's see you here. Once again, this is Premier Sports Fan Center. We're running a watch along program with you tonight, and we're watching the show live telecast, watch along show between Chelsea Football Club of London and Leeds in this semi-final of the FA going on. So you're invited to be part of the show. Join us. Let's see you. Let's hear you. Let's feel you. We'll read out your comments if you put it right there. You're welcome to run your commentary. I don't see Leeds coming back here. They're not making enough movements. They're not putting in enough efforts. They seem too casual, too weak to attack and penetrate this Chelsea block. Of course, Chelsea is holding a low block, and you can see Leeds supporters biting and eating up their fingers. They're rather anxious. And Calvert-Lewin will have the ball, and he loses it straight off to Chelsea. And that Chelsea player will send a longish one away out into the side of Leeds City. So the game is still Leeds trying to look for a penetrable angle. Chelsea setting up a fortress. Okay, so Moses Caicedo has just been hot. A tackle that got the medicals on the field just took place at the 88th minute of the game when Longstaff went for Caicedo's stationary leg right there, and the young man is rolling on the floor. He's complaining seriously and bitterly at that, and the medicals are attending to him as we speak. Was secured. The goal The only goal, the lone goal so far was caught by Enzo Fernandez, the captain, who took a beautiful header from across, perhaps from Pedro Neto, and that beat the goalkeeper totally. And that's the lone goal we have seen in this game. And right now we're still trying to attend to Moises Caicedo, trying to get him up on his feet and keep him back running. So this is getting more and more interesting. Caicedo being taken off the field. Let's just hope he can come back. And of course, I think he's on his feet already. The young man is just taking some liquid. He's rehydrating right there. While Chelsea is trying to round this up. Chelsea wants to round this up as it is. So I'm sure they're not going to take out Caicedo. They're going to keep him on the field. They're going to make him just stand this out. You just have 8 minutes have been added. Wow, that's a long period of waiting for Chelsea supporters. 8 long minutes. Wow, that's a lot. Chelsea fans, I don't want to be you right now, because Chelsea fans are going to be biting their teeth. Oh my goodness. Any corner kick, any long thrust into the Chelsea 18 will send shivers to the heart of Chelsea players. And the game is still rolling on. Now we're at the 92nd minute. 6 minutes to play in this one. Of course, Chelsea fans are not jubilating yet. You can't jubilate as it is. You have a lead, but you don't want to lose this lead. Anything can happen. And a longish one to Chelsea's half. And Leeds will try and build again. Or will try and send everything to the penalty area of Chelsea. This is very interesting now. Should Leeds come back with a goal, this will make this so. Oh my goodness. It will be intriguing to see how that plays out. If Leeds can score 1 goal now, between now and the end of 98 minutes. But I don't think Leeds have the capacity to come back into this. As I said earlier, they're trying to put things together, but they don't have the capacity. They don't know the methodology. They are dancing around the circle, and they're not moving much forward. Vibrating is what they're doing. Longish one to the box. Leeds will try and do something, but enough blue brothers are there. You have enough blue shirts in that region, protecting that goalkeeper and the goalpost with their life like gladiators, making sure that nothing comes in between them. The ball doesn't come to the goalkeeper at all. Now Chelsea has a chance on the counter, and that wasn't a well-placed one. And Leeds will try and go again. Marco Cucurella will put his head to it. Leeds will pick the ball again. The referee says play on. Says nothing to it. And Chelsea almost had it, but the foul has been given to Leeds. And the Chelsea player was actually pulling on the Leeds player who, that's Enzo Fernandez. Oh, that's not Enzo. That's Pedro Neto. Pulling on the Leeds player who used his elbow on his face and kicked Pedro Neto on the face, which ended him a yellow card. And I think Pedro also got himself a yellow card. It's a dual card situation. One apiece. Jaden Bogle got one. I don't think Pedro didn't get one. That's a correction. And still pressure on the defense of Chelsea. Last minute pressure coming here. Leeds trying to do everything possible. And Leeds has won a free kick in a very dangerous position. In between the midfield, the midline, and the 18 of Chelsea. Of course, we expect to see a longish one into the 18. Yes, yeah, that's an update. Pedro Neto was also carded. He received a yellow card from that infringement, same as Burgle. And a longish one, a bit too long for the Leeds player. Calvin Lewin couldn't get to it. Calvin Lewin could have actually put that into a very difficult position for Chelsea defenders to stop. But it was just a few inches too long for him. He couldn't get to it. A little long, too long, too long. Because any goal right now from Leeds will totally change the dynamics of the game. And it will make this very, very interesting. The fans want to have joy. They want to enjoy the game even better. We have now played 96, an upward of 96 minutes have been played. And with the 8 minutes of added time, we have just 2 minutes left for Chelsea to either take this or for Leeds to equalize and play in the match into extra time. Longstaff has just committed an offense which gave a free kick to Chelsea. And game has been stopped again, and trust football players, they're going to delay this by a few seconds. And you can see Longstaff clutching his hamstrings there. He possibly is injured, but this is not the time for a change. This is not the time to pull out. You want to fight it to the last minute and see what can come out of this. So you can always join us. You can describe your feelings of this game. What are your emotions here? If you're a Chelsea fan, this is a time to express your opinion. Do you think Chelsea can pull this through? We have just 2 minutes, 1 minute now to go. Can Chelsea do this? And if you're an anti-Chelsea fan, a hater as they're called sometimes, you can put your otter on our comment section. Let's hear your opinion. The lap has just replayed Pedro. A game has come to the last final minute of the added time. It looks like Chelsea is going to Wembley in the final of the FA to join Manchester City, who have booked their spot as of yesterday to play in the final. And Cole Palmer almost had a chance there, but he lost it. He didn't hold the ball well. And Leeds will try and do something, but Chelsea players will put their bodies in the way for it. The clock runs down. The clock ticks away. 59 seconds. This is the 8th minute of the game. We have now exceeded the added 8 minutes. The referee still says continue. And Cole Palmer played the longish one. What would the referee do? He puts his whistle in his mouth. He looks up. He looks around. We're now 18 seconds beyond the 8 minutes. The referee still has not blown his whistle. And the game continues. And you have Leeds with the ball. They have a throw-in. Perhaps a last throw-in. And you can see a player, the goalkeeper, moving forward. All going for the kill. Everybody in the penalty area of Chelsea. We expect a longish throw. This might be the last one. The last attack and a longish one. The goalkeeper moves in. Everybody moves in. A chance for Leeds. And the chance was not taken. The player was so poor with sending the ball back. And Chelsea will close them up. And the referee has blown his whistle for final. And Chelsea has booked their place as the competitor against Manchester City in the final of this year's FA, which will be taking place in the next few weeks. Chelsea has a chance to pick the FA trophy this year, in spite of their lackluster, perhaps not very good performance in the EPL and in European football this last season. Congratulations to Chelsea. Congratulations to all the fans of the Blues. And the game has been brought to a stop. Chelsea will be playing Man City in the final of the FA. And Leeds City can bury their hopes. Their dreams and aspiration ends here for this season. They can fight again next season and try and see what may happen. But right here, it is Chelsea's day. Chelsea has just made it into the final of the FA. Just one goal separated the two sides, and Chelsea is the winner here. Man City versus Chelsea is what we'll be looking forward to in the final of the FA. Wembley will come, and on behalf of the crew and for all of us at the studio, we have come to the end of the game. My name again is Yinka Adigbi. They call me the doc around here. I wish you a lovely evening and enjoy football all the time. Goodbye for now.